Street Fighter is a game of pixels. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yes, it is pixels on the screen. It is literally a game of pixels. If you play fighting games, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's a game of spacing. I've been playing a lot of Aura lately, and Aura really shines and really illuminating the skill set and determining spacing, especially when it comes to combo conversions. And to be quite honest, I just thought this aspect of the game and the character is really interesting, and I just wanted to share it. Now, longtime Street Fighter players and fighting game players will know about what I'm going to be showing off here, but to some people, I think it might be a little bit illuminating to the decision making that goes on when players are doing combos and playing in a real match. When, you know, it's two human beings making their own decisions and moving around on the screen, you're not going to be able to control all the variables, so you have to make decisions on the fly based on those pixels, and those pixels matter. So let me go ahead and show you the different conversions I'm talking about. Aura is one of the most interesting characters in this regard when it comes to spacing and combo conversions, because every pixel matters. The spacing you're at when you interrupt or intercept the opponent and hit them with a combo affects greatly the options you have. And it's not just the relative distance between you and the opponent, it's also your relative distance between you, your opponent, and the corner. So I'm gonna go and show some conversions and just show you how much these little pixels of distance matter. So I'm gonna use Aura for this example here. So let's start off first, point blank. I'm gonna go into a combo route using EX Tatsu and show all the different variations of this combo route that vary based on the distance. The point blank one is very inconsistent, so let's see if I can land it. It requires you to micro walk forward. There we go. Point blank EX Tatsu route right there. And that's good because it gets you a bit more damage than you normally would get. It's very difficult to land this combo in a real match because, as you saw, you have to be so close to get both hits. If you don't let them fall far enough, the chicken feet in the air, it's not going to connect either. So you have to let them fall deep enough, be point blank, and get that conversion. And you saw there from the crouching medium kick conversion there, I got 291 damage from that combo. Let's back up a few pixels and show what happens if I try to go for that same combo. So if I'm point blank, I can do that route. If I back up a little bit here, let's try that again. Only got one hit of the medium. Oh, barely got that to connect. All right, 267. I was actually able to get some of the hits to connect here, but that lost almost 30 damage from the same route because I'm not getting both hits of the stand medium. I'm not getting both hits of the chicken. So I'm actually losing a lot of damage from that distance. So going from the point blank one where you micro walk forward to a few pixels back, I already lost a large portion of my damage. So for a little bit further away, rather than going for the 2-hit combo, instead you can try something else. You can try this combo instead. So at the range where you get this single hit of the medium, instead you can do the jump cancel, jump medium kick in the air, juggle DP. 281 damage, that does 10 damage less than the point blank conversion, but it's more stable at a slightly further away distance. So it's very hard to tell. That's the difference between point blank and like right here. You have to change your combo route to get the optimal damage. So you're really eyeballing this distance when you get the first hit, and you really have to understand the ranges where you're at. If you're at this range, you can't do the medium punch into the jump combo. What can you do instead? Well, at a space distance, you can do something like towards medium. You can do towards medium, light Tatsu. That lets you approach on the ground after you knock them down for 212 damage. So you're losing out on damage here for sure. Another option, you can do towards medium to heavy Tatsu. That blows them back. You might be able to sneak in a V-skill or a fireball, but if you don't know the matchup, you can quick rise and punish that. More damage, but you don't get to rush them down, really. It sets up some zoning, sort of. What if I told you there's an even better route you can do instead? If you're ready to get a conversion from a far distance, you can instead do this little trick here. That combo is weird to do, but it gives you decent damage. We're back to 261. That's not the optimal 291 at point blank, but it's the best damage you can get from a distance with that conversion. But it requires you to be prepared to do this, because if you didn't notice what I did, I had to do a special input trick to even get this combo to work. Doing towards medium into a DP motion is weird because it's a forward and medium punch input that I need to cancel into a down plus up charge move. And I won't go into the specifics in this video, but I'm telling you, if you try to do this, it's very strange to get to work. It does require execution. So if you have the execution and awareness, you can squeeze more damage out of this scenario by committing to this combo route. So I already just showed you there's like 4 different routes here that you have to think about just based on this range alone. And I haven't even considered once we get closer to the corner. Once we get closer to the corner, there's a whole other set of options you need to start thinking about. So once again, these pixels, they matter. If you get close to putting the opponent in the corner, you actually have a few more damaging options. So if I'm at this range where I can do the single hit medium into the jump tatsu, you actually get to do an extra juggle here. So let's show that off. So single hit, you get to do a light DP juggle at the proper height and then do a heavy DP juggle instead, and that gets you a cool 328. So if you are pushing them into the corner, they're not in the corner yet, you're just getting them close to the corner, you actually get to get more damage. So if you are aware of your positioning relative to the corner, you can optimize further by doing this. But there is a risk of dropping it. You really do have to manage the heights properly. So that's too low, I believe. Yep. But if you do it when he's too high, it also drops. So you have to really manage the heights to get that combo to work, or else you're going to be in a world of pain. That's cool and all, but what if we get a little bit closer to the corner now? Can I still do that combo? You can still do it there. Once we get point blank in the corner, it's not going to work anymore because you're going to be forced into the double hit medium punch. So once again, your routes are changing. If you get closer to the corner, you're going to have to think of something different here. So once you're in the corner here, you can instead do this route instead. The double hit in the corner, and it's a light DP, heavy DP. But even in between, there's an ambiguous distance. If you're about this range, you need to do towards medium instead. Because if you're not close enough, once again, to get the medium punch launcher, you're going to have to do something different. So at a spaced out conversion, you can do towards medium to light tatsu. But if you're not in the corner, you don't get the DP as you see there. But if you just barely get them to the corner, if it's just barely there, you get the juggle. And that's a whole big difference in damage. It's like, what, 36, probably more difference in the damage. So you really have to be able on the fly to see when they hit the corner to get out more damage. Once you're in the corner, you actually get some pretty beastly conversions. You can do things like that. You have other routes available as well. But as you're playing a match, as you're moving around on the screen, as you have to deal with all these different variables here, you really have to be able to judge dynamically what distance you and the opponent are at, and what distance you and the opponent are at relative to the corner to optimize the damage. So why does that even matter? What is even the point of all this? The main thing to know here is that Street Fighter and fighting games are games of pixels. Those pixels determine oftentimes who is going to win the match, who is going to win the round. You need to be able to optimize every interaction for the most part within reason, because that will reduce the number of openings you need to win. There are so many times, if you go back and look at a VOD, look at a tournament set, look at your own replays, there will be moments where you could have potentially ended the round, but you let the opponent live and they were able to get off the ground and make the comeback, make the last hit. But if you had studied the situation, if you knew the pixels, if you knew that this conversion would work at this distance and I can shave off that much more life, you could have potentially taken the victory instead. And I see that all the time in my own gameplay. It's one of the main things I come back to look at over and over when watching my own gameplay is, did I do everything I could have done in this situation to secure a W? If not, you got more to grind, more to learn, and that's really the beauty of fighting games. That fighting games are games of pixels. That's all I had for this video. I just thought this was really interesting to share. I love exploring this stuff in this game. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me and shows support for the channel, which I very much do appreciate. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.